So I picked up this wreath over the weekend. It's a wreath that I got from Whole Foods. It's a live wreath with some pine cones and a couple of other sprigs thrown in. I get one of these every year. Mostly I get some of this greenery and bring it inside for my cats, who are inside only, and they really enjoy it. I wanted to dress it up though, so I also picked up these berries while I was there, and I end up having to be very careful with these because I do have cats and dogs. This wreath's going on the front door, so I just need to make sure that I'm careful with them while I'm making the wreath. And here I've got some orange slices that I've been drying in the oven. I noticed that one side, of course, was a little bit drier than the other, so I flipped them, put them back in, and here they are. About an hour later, I had my oven on bake 200 degrees Fahrenheit, and I want to say all in all they were in there a couple of hours. So I'm just getting everything ready. I know I want to add these orange slices, I know I want to add the berries, and I'm just thinking, how am I going to actually attach this to the wreath? I get a wreath every year, but I don't dress it up normally with anything other than maybe lights and ornaments that are already made. So this is the first time I'm really taking a crack at dressing up specifically a wreath. So I have these skewers that I usually use to actually aerate my soil for my houseplants, and I've decided to use one of those to make a hole in the dried orange slice. And then I'm using some of the copper wire that I use to wrap my tillandsia actually. And I figure I can loop this into the hole that I've created in the dried orange slice and then attach it to one of these kind of sprigs on the wreath. This looks like it's that this is coming from a noble fir, just from the way that the needles look. I also, though, thought maybe it would be easier just to use these Christmas ornament hooks. Maybe they would work out a little bit better. And I tried bending it, trying to see if I could get it into a usable shape. And I slipped that through the hole, and I thought, well, maybe I can just actually attach this to the wire underneath the branches, and that might be more secure. So I went ahead and I left that alone. And I wasn't terribly happy though with the way that it looked, because it is kind of hidden and it had to be very close to the wire to really attach to anything. So I thought, you know what, on this second slice, what I'll go ahead and do is I'll cut some more wire, and this time I'm actually going to attach it to one of these sprigs and see if I can't make this process maybe a little bit easier. So I just take both ends of that wire, cross one end over the other, twist, and then bend it back. This wire is very malleable, and I like it. This works a lot better. And I realized, I'm going to come back over here and I'm going to undo this because the way that I had to use this, it made it sit way too close to the actual frame. And so then it wasn't really visible on the wreath. And so I'm going back through and attaching that first piece of wire that I cut and just slipping this into place, twisting the wire and getting it nice and secure. So this wreath is going on my front door actually, and I'm excited. I have one wreath that goes inside of the house, and I'll still be dressing that up a little bit later, but this one's gonna go on the front door. The inside one is, like I said, really for my cats, so I might put a few cat toys or something like that where they can actually get to it and sniff it and play with it a little bit. They don't try to eat trees, thankfully, but they really, once we get a holiday tree, they will get underneath that tree and just go nuts. So here I am attaching my third orange slice, and you can see I definitely probably have more orange slices there in the center than I'm gonna actually need for this wreath. And so one thing I have done in the past is use these slices as ornaments on a tree, and so I'm probably going to save what I don't use here and disperse them onto my tree. I'm starting to get a little better at it here with attaching these in places that are a little less visible from the front. And so I'm just getting a little bit more of a close-up here to show you how I attach it around a sprig. And I'm finding it easier to attach it where two sort of branches diverge, and getting right at the base of where they diverge and tying it in there. Some of these orange slices are they were probably a little bit thinner, and so they're a little tougher to actually get my skewer through. And right here, I thought this was an easy place. So sometimes you just see some of the things that are already there, some branches that are pretty exposed that are really a lot easier to attach the wire to, and also that are already a little bit more visible. And here we go. I scouted this place out before actually skewering the orange slice, and that's what I end up doing, is trying to find these spaces. Now it's time to attach these berries that are already falling off. Like I said, you're going to see me tossing them to the side quite a bit as I go, just because I want to make sure that they don't end up on the floor. So I've got 3, and I'm realizing that it's going to make probably a bit of a triangle, of course, with the 3 points on the wreath. And so I was just trying to place them so that they're evenly spaced, and trying to think about what on this wreath, where is up, where is the apex that the wreath is going to hang from, and going from there. I know that I need to shorten the actual branch here, and so what I do is I take the scissors. I know I can't cut through these, but I score them with the scissors, and then it makes it really easy just to snap them. And when they're shorter, they're definitely easier to tuck into the wreath. I do end up losing a few berries here, however. You can see all of the orange slices that I have remaining. I find a second spot that I think is good. It's over here by one of the orange slices. So again, I score this branch and then I snap it. Now inside of there, the core is still green wood, and so that's easy to cut through once you've actually snapped. You've snapped it in half. Another berry into the sink. And here is the second sprig of berries done. Then I just have to figure out where I'm going to put this last remaining one, and I'm thinking right here might be good. There was already some type of sprig of berries tucked in there, but they're not really popping. And that's a lot of what I wanted to do with the wreath, was give it some color, because there's a lot of beautiful different tones of greens and bluish greens here, and I wanted it to have a little bit more of a festive look. And so that's why I chose orange and this orange red. I'm also wondering if the birds are going to come peck at the orange slices. We'll see. I realized here that this is probably too long, and I go ahead and cut it down again, and you can see there is a wire that I'm trying to work it under right now, and I'm going on the inside of a branch that's already been secured, which makes it a lot easier for me to secure this sprig and another berry into the sink. Better the sink than the floor where the puppies and the cats can get them. But here's the wreath. I'm looking at it now. I'm pretty happy with it. I like the pine cones, though I've already scratched myself on them a few times by now. And here it is outside. This is the next day, and I'm really happy with it. It turned out really lovely. I can't take credit for the whole wreath by any means. However, I am happy with the little decorations that I've added to it. It's really simple, it's fun, and I do hope you've enjoyed the video. I should have another one soon. Until next time, be well and take care.